Hello everyone, it's Teacher Lena here and I am an ESL online teacher and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. In this video, I want to talk about two companies I work for and two companies that are very similar, but they do have some differences. That is Qkids and Magic Ears. They are both very good companies to work for. They have very competitive salaries or rates of pay, and I enjoy working with both of them. But they do have some differences too. So first off, pay. The pay for Qkids, when you start with them, they have a base pay of $8 for all teachers, doesn't matter what your background is, and then you can either earn $1 for attendance or $1 more for performance. So you can make up to $10 per class. And those classes are 25 minutes or really 30 minutes. So um, you can kind of squeeze in 2 classes an hour, but really not. They kind of go over their hour limit. So, but I'll just roughly say you can make $20 an hour with Qkids. Magic Ears, their pay starts off about $9 an hour. Some people might go a little bit higher, some people a little bit lower, but it's about $9 an hour. And you can get a bonus also for being early to class, which is 3 minutes early, and for coming having a certain number of classes in a period of time. So that is kind of like the attendance bonus. So that means that you can make $11 an hour with Magic Ears. And so there's a little bit more pay with Magic Ears, and their classes are 25 minutes. So they fit real easily into the hour framework. You get 5 minutes between each class. So it's real easy to say it's a straight, $20 an hour or $22 an hour with Magic Ears. With Qkids, you cannot get pay raises. You don't get pay raises with them, but you get to work with their wonderful company. Magic Ears, you also work with a wonderful company, but you do have the opportunity to get a raise after your contract is up. They evaluate and you can move up depending on your performance. So that is something that's nice to look forward to. And it's not that hard to achieve as long as you work a certain number of classes with them. So you do have to give them a certain amount of time if you want to get that pay increase. So there's a lot of similarities there. Their hours are similar. With both of those companies, you will be teaching, if you live in America, you will teach in the morning. That is their peak time, Monday through Sunday. Morning times, which is their evening times. But with Qkids, you start, for me, I'm in Central Standard Time, so you would start at about 4:30 a.m. and you teach and you stop at 7. Your last class starts at 6:30. And then for Magic Ears, the classes start at 3 a.m. So you get a little bit more time with them in the morning to start your classes, but then you stop at 7. Last class is scheduled at 6:30 and you end at 7. All companies that teach in China now have to end at that same time. If the company is not primarily based in China, then you can teach longer, but for all the companies based in China, that is their policy for China now. So that's the morning hours, the differences in the morning hours, and in the evening hours, it's about the same. You don't teach in the evening with them Monday through Thursday, but you can have evening classes on Friday and Saturday with both Magic Ears and with Qkids. So their booking schedule is very similar, and they're similar in that the company books for you. You don't have to create a teacher profile where the parents will look at you and select a teacher, because that is different. It's more competitive. You are trying to make yourself more appealing or as appealing as the next teacher so that you can get bookings. But with Magic Ears and Qkids, you don't have to do that. So they're very similar in that way. The company just gives you your bookings, and they're fair about giving bookings. They do it differently. With Qkids, you just are given bookings. It doesn't really matter if you're, they don't really say specifically your certain level, so you get X amount of classes. No, they give you classes, and when I started with them, I got a pretty good number of classes. It depends on what time of year, because sometimes they have their slow time, so if they have a slower time, then you're going to get less classes, but they're usually pretty good about having classes. But I do notice that they do give seniority, and actually they have written in an email that they do give older, more senior teachers who have been with them longer, they give them preference. So you are more likely to have a more steady or solid bookings if you have been with them longer, which makes sense. I mean, that's only fair, but it's not normal for you to not have any classes with them. With Magic Years, it is a system where as you move up the line, you get more classes. So if you start off with your first couple of weeks, you get just a few classes, and sometimes you will see on their schedule that you will actually be assigned a class, but then that class might disappear because it might be given to another teacher. And that's because the teacher is ranked higher than you. So depending on your ranking will determine how many classes you get. And until you teach like 100 classes, you pretty much are not given priority. And then even once you get to that level, you have the Magic Masters who get whatever classes that they want to teach. So that is, it's a good system, and it ensures that you are showing loyalty to the company, you are teaching a certain number of classes, and they reward you for that. That makes sense. So, but that is the difference. Because of that, I find that unless you give them a lot of time slots, it's a little harder to get bookings with Magic Ears at the beginning because of the system. But you can work your way to getting more, and that's fine. So that's their difference in bookings. The curriculum is they're very interactive platforms. It's not where the characters are just stationary, or just pictures that don't move. I mean, they're very interactive. They have a lot of games and um, music and sounds and stuff to kind of keep the kids interested. They do. With Magic Ears, they require you to have 2 props per class. And with Qkids, they don't require you. They just want you to, they call it modeling, which is TPR, and which with all companies, you should practice good TPR with your classes. So you want to be fun and engaging with whoever you teach with. So their platforms are pretty similar. You have 4 students in a class, or up to 4 students in a class. You have to monitor their sound. You have to monitor the number of awards you give them. You don't have to have any other rewards other than what is in the classroom, unless you choose. Qkids has stickers where Magic Ears does not have stickers, but that's just a minor thing. And Qkids, you can adjust the volume for the students, whereas with Magic Ears, you can turn off the volume, but you cannot adjust the volume of the student. So that's a little different. You can close the camera of the student on both of the platforms so that they are not seen. So, that's similarities, and you can move the students around on the platform and put them wherever you want to, so that they can interact with you and the other students in the class. So that is very similar for the 2 of them. And the cancellation policies for the 2 companies are different. With Qkids, if you cancel, you are not penalized by having to pay a fee. You are penalized by not getting your performance bonus if you have a certain number of absences, or absence with no reason. Then you can lose your bonus. But they're still even a little flexible with that. You don't lose it right away. I mean, you have to have a certain number of absences in order to lose your bonus uh, for that week. And they're very flexible. Like, if you talk to them and explain something, sometimes they are understanding and they'll remove it so you won't lose your bonus. So they're more flexible with their absences, whereas with Magic Years, um, you can cancel. Yeah, you can cancel, but if you cancel too close to your class, then you will have to pay a fee of $20. So, it makes sense that you would have to, if they have to replace you with somebody and go through the effort to do that, then, to fine you, that's okay. That's understandable to me. So, but that is what it is. $20 for a fee if you are absent. And with Qkids also, I was going to say, if you cancel 5 hours out before the class, then there is no penalty at all for them. Magic Years, you can cancel before the class. I think it's 12 hours they want you to cancel before you have an issue, but I'm not 100% sure of how much time they give to you. But they're flexible. I mean, if you give them enough time, 12 hours or, whatever the limit is, there's no penalty. You just have to give them time. That's expected. You shouldn't just not show up to work. So they do expect for you to be responsible and to show up, as with Qkids too, but they just have different policies. And the standby classes with Magic Years, you can get $2 more on top of your teaching time. Actually, it might even be more than that, now that I think about it. But you do get a bonus for being a standby teacher. You get, I think, $2. I could be wrong, actually. If it's not 2, it's more than 2, but you do get a standby bonus, which is nice. You could sign up to be a standby teacher, and once you get to a certain level, you can sign up to be a standby teacher, and then if you don't get the class, you get paid for being a standby teacher. But if you do get the class, you get money on top of that. Qkids, you are assigned a standby status, but you cannot sign up for it. They just might give you a standby class, and which is a slot where you are supposed to wait until you're needed or not needed, and then you don't have to stay after 3 minutes into the class. But if you are not given a class, then they pay you $4 for your time to wait. But if you do get a class, there is no additional payment for being in the class. So that's the difference. Wonderful companies, and I hope that this will help you to understand them a little bit more and understand their differences, because they are alike in many ways, but they have some differences between the two. So I would love to help you if you have any questions. I'm leaving my information about my referral links to these companies, and feel free to contact me so I can help you through the process if you do want to get hired. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I do put out videos weekly, so thanks for watching and have a great day. I will see you in the next video. Bye.